Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, a lot of people are telling me that the camera is not good, and I do appreciate that, and I thank you guys for letting me know. The truth is that this is my backup camera. It's pretty much, as you can see. I'm like I knew it was yellow. I mean, that's just the way I am. I'm yellow, but I didn't think I was this yellow. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. And if I change the color of that's too blown out. You know what I mean? There's not really much of a happy medium for this camera, this version anyway. I mean, it does a great zoom. I'll admit that it's actually pretty good for the zoom. But other than that, in terms of color correction, things like that, I just haven't been able to narrow it down. It's just one of these weird little things that happens with YouTube. I had a much better camera before it died on me. I was so upset when it died on me because it was a really good camera. But anyway, so guys, we've made it to the end of the weekend. So tomorrow is another work day, but this is this is my the highlight of my weekend, being able to spend some time with you guys here, because obviously you guys are amazing, and I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given to the channel all these years. Thank you guys so much for that. um this has been one crazy weekend, I gotta tell you. Too many things going on at any given time. The new year is usually a slow time for toy news, but surprisingly enough, there has been actually a lot of great things to talk about. But um, today, I wanted to talk about something which I think a lot of other content creators have already discussed this at length. But you know what? It's a topic that's not going to really go away anytime soon, and it just touches a lot of people in terms of like nostalgia, and there is a lot of problems with its rollout, if I can say it that way. I'm I'm of course talking about plastic free packaging. You know, there are a lot of things, pros and cons, that go along with this topic. And Jay over Geek Dead Life has touched on it. A lot of people have just been critical about it. Um, and in terms of collecting, as a whole, there are many different types of collectors out there. There are people who open their toys. There are people who like are mint in box collectors, and they don't ever touch their toys at all. They just like to admire them on the shelf as they came in. And those are the ones who are very, very critical about this for obvious reasons. I mean, like that seems to be the biggest concern for many people on that level. I'll try that. We'll see what happens. But you know, I'm always of the glass half full kind of situation. I understand why companies want to do plastic free packaging. And there have been a lot of there's been a lot of speculation that whether it's to save money, whether it's to be better for the environment, whether there's so many different categories and classes of reasons why people or companies themselves would want to do something like this. Um, but one of the biggest problems with adult collecting, anyway, that I've found is that as an adult collector, much of the many brands that we decide to collect are based on nostalgia. And one of the biggest things about nostalgia is that when you went to a big box retail store, or any places to purchase toys, they were eye catching. They were big, huge, in your face, right, for kids. There's a reason why the car back is designed a certain way. There's a reason why the boxes are designed a certain way. And of course, they were always utilizing cellophane to protect the figures themselves. And it has that nostalgic, appeal, right? That's the biggest thing about any of these packages. I mean, there's a reason why. So here's a really good example. We have these. Oh my god! Oh, I can't even hold on to this thing. This thing is gigantic. Okay, this thing is absolutely, positively massive, and there's a reason for that, right? Um, I'll try to illustrate that right now. It's an interesting study. Let's put it that way. So let's just grab a backing card from back in the day. Okay. All right. I think this is a better example. Let me put this one back first, and we'll get to GI Joe in a minute. But let's see, do I still have him? Yeah, here we go. All right. So, no, what am I doing? That's not the right thing. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I swapped one problem for another. It was around here somewhere. Anyway, whatever. It all amounts to the same situation. Anyway, where is it? Oh, I know what to do now. I know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna go. Again, I'm totally prepared for this, right? I knew exactly what I was doing when I started this stream. 100%. Here we go. Okay, so here's the thing about collecting, right? As a collector, and specifically, and I'm going to talk about inbox collecting, okay? As a rule, all right. So when you were a kid, and even now today, right? When you were a kid, this would be the size of a normal package art, right? This is what you would see on the store. It would be the figure, the illustration, huge logo, and of course the actual cellophane sheet, cellophane window where you saw what you were getting, right? You saw you got a gun, you saw you got ammunition, like additional weaponry, a helmet, really cool stuff. Now, of course, this is more of um, a modern figure, but still, this is what you get. But do you see the size of it compared to my hand, right? So this was designed specifically for kids to be able to grab off the shelf, right? And this would be massive when when you think about it. This would be huge in a kid's hand, right? Let's just put that in perspective. So this in a kid's hand, they'd be looking at it and be like, oh my god, this is so great! It's huge, right? It's a big ass toy for a kid. Okay, yeah, this isn't so big anymore. This is tiny. This is a tiny little like it's barely the size of my palm. You know what I mean? Like this is not a big toy. Okay, that's not what it is. So fast forward 40 years, right? Fast forward 40 freaking years, right? Uh, and all of a sudden, Hasbro says, "Hey, you know what? This nostalgia kick is really cool, and maybe we can sell the same figure twice." You know what I mean? So they've already released, GI Joe figures. Yeah, let's say it here. I already have Gung Ho, right? Gung Ho, he came on a classic on a regular GI Joe Classics card. Perfect. I don't. Why would I need to buy another Gung Ho, right? I don't need to buy another Gung Ho. But guess what? Nostalgia, right? The nostalgia bell comes ringing, and they're like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity to release, dang, the classic carded version, the retro cards, right? For Gung Ho, because this isn't Gung Ho. This is a video game version of Gung Ho, right? This is Gung Ho the video game, right? And he comes on a new backing card that on a new box, right? Classified box, right? But nostalgic collectors who already bought this stupid thing. Okay, I already bought this, right? So I already bought that one. But no, they're like, we'll bet if we put this on a classic card. If we put this on a classic card, they'll buy it again. they, they, they will buy it again. Change the colors back to the original colors from back in the day, right? Change the colors back to the original colors. Put it on a classic looking backing card, and put it back on the market. Let's see if it'll sell again. And guess what? It sold again, right? But this is all predicated. This is all predicated on nostalgia. Okay, all right. Like we all got back into GI Joe Classified with this, right? Because yeah, it's a bigger figure. It's 6-inch figure. It's much bigger. It's a lot of plastic, right? They come with a ton more weapons. It's a nostalgic trip down memory lane, but it wasn't nostalgic enough for a lot of people. A lot of people actually were turned off by this version of Gung Ho. They're like, that's not Gung Ho, right? That's some dude in army fatigues, and pretending to be a GI Joe character, right? So people were like, all right, I'm skipping out on this version of Gung Ho until they get the real Gung Ho. So you know what? And again, but like me, there are a ton of people who bought this anyway because again they do these things, right? I'm practically dropping all these. Stop it. Okay, they do these things and they get you. They really do. If you're an inbox collector, you want the perfect pristine box, right? That's the other thing you want. You want this beautiful box, but they get you two different ways because they do that. They do this thing. They do this terrible thing for collectors. They give you a freaking number. Okay, they give you a number, and you go AD. Your brain, your collecting brain, decides to say, "What the f? I I'm missing number 7." All right, I'm missing number 7, and it's gonna wear on you slowly over time. So whether you buy it now or whether you buy it later, they know for a fact that they got you because the number 7 is plaguing you and just teasing you, saying there's a huge freaking gap in your collections, and you don't need this because you were waiting for this. Okay, you were waiting for this, all right, and but this was out, right? Because again, you weren't really cool on this, but you were waiting for this. But because you didn't want this, but because of that, you have to buy it. You have to buy this because of the number. That's another tactic that these are all psychological BS things that they do to consumers, right? And then you look on your shelf, and all of a sudden, if I was to, you know, just for look, I purposely do this. I do this on purpose because um, I know it's gonna bug me later. But watch this, okay? This is crazy because I just happen to have it in the periphery over here. So if I do this, and I'm an idiot this way anyway. I went ahead and I turned them around so I don't see these. But if I was to go ahead and flip these all around, check this out. This is how ingrained we are to collecting. Okay, watch this. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this properly. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and flip all of these around. Right. Check this out. This is this is how collecting works, everybody. Right. If you haven't figured out how your brain chemistry works, this is how it works. Okay. We were taught in school how to count to 10, and probably 100. And this is how the brain chemistry works for collectors. There, I have 7, 8, 8, and here's what's really terrible about collecting. Here's the worst part about collecting, especially because Hasbro decided to do this and be terrible about it. Okay, they went ahead and created an exclusive figure for San Diego for Hasbro PulseCon. Okay, only available at Hasbro PulseCon at the time. You could only get this there. And guess what? They decided to go ahead and put this in the line, a numbered line set, which your brain tells you I need to complete a numbered line set, and then they freaking say, okay, fine. The number 9 is an exclusive figure that you can't buy anywhere else except for Hasbro Pulse. During Hasbro PulseCon, like crazy, right? So now you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right, and 12 over here, okay, and then you know what? Here comes and if you don't complete the set, you're screwed, right? Look, I'm all the way at 22, things like that. Like it's just an absolute never ending cycle of 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 just pure ridiculousness, like crazy. And this is the cycle that they catch you in. And then, like I said, to capitalize on that nostalgia trip, right? To capitalize on this nostalgia trip, you've already got Baroness. All right, you've already got the Baroness on a freaking 2-pack. She's peg warming out there. Nobody needs her anymore, right? Nobody needs the freaking Baroness. But guess what? You put her on a retro card, all of a sudden you need her again. Like you absolutely have to have the Baroness on a retro card. It's just never ending cycle. And of course, again, like I said, you maybe you didn't want Gung Ho, you still got him anyway because the numbered set, and now you have to get this Gung Ho because you know what, he's on a freaking classic card and he looks amazing on the card itself, like absolutely freaking ridiculous. Now that's if you're a an inbox collector. If you're an inbox collector, you are kind of screwed, right? Because these things are like plastic crack, right? Like these are plastic crack for everybody. All these little releases, they're all like plastic crack to us collectors, anyways, right? But with these multiple releases, because how many times have they released? Come on, this is the ultimate plastic crack of the multiple decades. Okay, he has been the craziest piece of collector crack that's ever been out there. Every single time, and what is it? Jay from Geek Dad Life calls it the Boba Fett tax. If you miss out on this guy the first time around, and you must have him, you have to get him. You are paying the Boba Fett tax because you know what? Come the second time or third time around, everyone always he's always sold out. Try hunting down Boba Fett. It's nigh impossible. A lot of times, just freaking ridiculous. So yeah, you're screwed either which way. But now, after all is said and done, after all the smoke is cleared, right? We're at that stage now where things have changed. You know, we're in 2023 now, right? We're in 2023 now, and the world is different, right? And I'm not even talking about what happened to us recently with the pandemic. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about environmental concerns. Governments looking to push a kind of greener, safer environment for the future. All that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of people, a lot of companies as well are being given incentives to adhere to these guidelines, right? There are tax incentives for companies who meet a certain threshold for their for being environmentally friendly. There are so many different avenues and reasons to actually do it. Notwithstanding that it really is good for the environment. You know what I mean. Like people are concerned about. There are groups out there lobbying for more um, things for climate change, right? Now, I'm not advocating either which way. It doesn't matter whether you believe in climate change or not. That's actually not the issue here. For collectors, we're caught in the middle. Okay, actually, everybody in general is caught in the middle. We're all just trying to live our lives and do whatever, right? And it's going to get really interesting if we even if we were to relate this to food packaging. That's gonna get really really strange in a year or two. Here in Canada, especially, plastic straws have basically been banned here. So now they're introducing paper straws, and a lot of people are not happy about paper straws. It grates on their teeth, and they get soggy, man. I don't know if you've ever drunken if you've ever taken a drink out of a sip. Sorry, if you've ever sipped out of a paper straw. The first two sips, maybe the first half of the cup, it's fine. It's great. For me, it's fine. The people are just like turned off by it in general. But after about half the cup, that freaking straw gets soggy. It gets soggy as heck. You put it to your lips and it's like, whoop. It's literally like falling apart in your mouth, and that's kind of gross, to be perfectly honest with you. Like having a soggy straw in your mouth is just the worst feeling, I got to tell you. And there are proponents to it. There are people who are against it. There's a lot of things going on, and we're gonna have to start wondering how food is going to be packaged as well in grocery stores and things like that. Because if you ever buy a pack of like potato wedges, right? They come in this huge freaking bag. It's like a kilo or something. It's like bigger than my head. It's massive, and it's in a plastic bag. With these new rules and regulations, they're gonna have to switch to I'm thinking it's gonna be wax lined paper bags, right? And I think that's probably a decent solution to it. But again, it's one of these things we're gonna have to start getting used to. Um, However, there is the opposite side of that equation. I mean, we're replacing plastic back to paper, which was back in the 80s and 70s. We were concerned about losing trees, so we went to plastic to save the trees. It's this crazy, weird situation we're living in. Like, what is the lesser of two evils, right? It's this crazy thing, and I'm not here to debate what is morally acceptable anymore. I'm not here to debate whether it's good or bad for the environment. I'm not here to debate any of that stuff. I just wanted to come in here today and start talking more about what we do, what interests us here as a community, and that is toys. right? And the decisions that have been made by companies to their commitment, right? They're calling it the commitment to a plastic free standard, right? Which in and of itself, okay, let's just talk about the irony just for a second. Just for a second. Let's talk about the irony of a toy company, right? Trying to get plastic free, right? Like it just doesn't make any sense, right? It's just, it the oxymoron in that, right? The irony in that is just laughable in many regards. In many regards, I mean, you are companies that actually subsist on plastic, right? These are made of plastic, right? All of these toys are made of plastic, and I've been saying this for a while now. Once these things start getting being made out of vegetables, you know what I mean? Once they start getting biodegradable plastics to actually make toys, I'm out. I'm absolutely freaking out. It's just ridiculous. It is just absolutely ridiculous. Once these things start to become biodegradable, because you know what, it's better for the environment. I'm done. You know what I mean? These are an escape for me, right? These are my childhood. This is the nostalgia that I remember as a kid, and I personally am a collector, and I want these things to last. Right? I don't buy things so that they can be biodegradable and return back. That's not when I buy things. I buy things because I really want to keep them. Right? Again, we can debate the socioeconomical, moral aspects of everything, but today the only thing I really want to talk about is how interesting it is that we live in a time where toy companies who make toys out of plastic are trying their best to eliminate plastic packaging, and the fallout that's coming from that, as well as just again the I'm not going to say short-sightedness. I'm going to say um, the repercussions, of that decision, and the shortcomings of that decision at the end of the day. So many different things that are coming out of this. Like seriously, and we're noticing them all. All of them are starting to come out at this time, and it's fun. It's very very interesting when you really think about it, because this is a time where everything gets under the microscope really really quickly, because there are content creators out there who are just making it their job, making it their overall job to make companies accountable for their decisions. Like so many different content creators are out there, making this their mission, right? For whatever reason, whether or not they're nostalgic about something and they're like, "How dare you take away plastic packaging from this?" It is just ridiculous, because what is a retro collection figure without its plastic packaging? Like, there are people who have been championing that, right? There are people who are looking at this and saying, like, if you put this in a box which nobody can see without a cellophane window, you're going to get theft, you're going to get breakages, you're going to get QC issues, and you know what? Everything under the sun has actually happened in the time that they've actually made this commitment. Everything that everyone's been saying has actually come true. It's ridiculous, and because of the availability of the internet, because of the availability of information exchange that we have now, with the internet has really given a lot of avenues for people to really communicate what's been going on out there. It is absolutely crazy just how quickly we've been able to see all of these things happen in real freaking time. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, I was watching Tidarium Hanger, Mike over there. He literally, no camera tricks, no nothing. And we're going to talk about this today, right? He opened up a package, and exactly what he said was going to happen came true. He was a soothsayer. He was a fortune teller. It was literally nuts. And then we have like people like Pixel Dan, who have also fallen victim to this. This is not isolated to just people who are just collectors and nobody knows who they are. There are a lot of people out there who are now tripping up about this and saying this is a problem, right? This is an actual problem. So again, I'm not looking to make a mountain out of a molehill here. That's not what I'm doing today. What I am doing is I am just reacting to what's been put out there, and I'm curious as to what everyone else's experiences have been. What are your thoughts? Because there are people who are there are people who are for plastic-free packaging, and there are people who are absolutely staunchly against it. And I'm very curious. I'm very interested to find out who among us in this community are for or against. And I'd be surprised, if and not surprised. I'm really looking forward to the overall results. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second, guys. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put a poll up on the chat. So give me 1 second. Let me just bring this up. I'm gonna put up a poll right now. Let me pop out the chat. Oz, if you're in the chat, please help me out here. I'm gonna make this poll, but give me 1 second. So let's make a poll. All right. Are you in favor? Okay. Do you? Sorry. What do you think of plastic-free packaging? All right, we're gonna put that there. We're gonna say it's awesome. Uh, Absolutely not. And I'm gonna add one more option. It's like I no no what's it called? Uh, not no yeah I don't really care. And the last one is what's plastic? Just to see what everyone would be thinking. So, guys, I put it there in the chat on Mega J Retro. Go ahead and vote to your heart's content. Let me know what you think of plastic-free packaging because honestly, it's definitely something which is a major concern for many collectors. As a community. I've been rambling on for about a half an hour. Holy crap, almost exactly a half an hour. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat. Tim Hayes is in the is in the house. I think for the most part, plastic-free packaging is stupid. Well, Tim, that's exactly that. Many people agree with your sentiment. Fish Tropic Canada, right. Fish Tropic says yes, sir. Aaron Hardy says loaded topic. It may be a loaded topic, but it's something that I think is important to collectors. I really do. Rhea Black says, "Hey, what's going on, Rhea? Good to see you." Ostromandus is in the house. Good to see you, Oz. Please, Oz, help me out with this. This is going to be a big topic, I'm sure. Andrew Davis, what's up, Jane Chat? What's going on, Andrew? Good to see you. Danny Phillips in the house. Good to see you, my friend. The Gabadon is in the house. Made it again. Thank you for being here tonight, Gabadon. Natural Nate Marvel, what's going on? The playoffs. Who's playing tonight? Daniel, I heard the Giants were playing tonight. Is that who it is? Daniel Caballero. Daniel Caballero. What's going on, Daniel? Good to see you, my friend. Danny says hi to Oz. Everybody's saying hi to Oz. Skyfall, what's going on, my friend? Don't forget that. Thank you so much, Oz. I really appreciate it. Yeah, please, guys, do hit that like button. Andrew Davis, plastic free packaging is horrible. Oh my gosh. David Stevens. Hi Jay, I live in the UK, so I don't often get a chance to join your live streams due to time zones, but I always watch the playbacks. Great channel. Thank you for that, Daniel. Really appreciate it. Always happy to hear from folks across the pond. Good to see you, my friend. Australia's Toys. Okay, you're also doing this thing. Rolando, what's going on? Toy Geeksaurus, what's going on, my friend? Danny, people want to see that they're getting what they pay for we've seen all the Motu being swapped to packages and taken back to the stores. So imagine if you can't see through the box, you'll buy something which is half a figure. Oh my goodness! Now that's interesting to say, and we will cover that as well. It is an interesting time, to be perfectly honest with you. David Stevens, hey Rolando, what's going on? Yeah, I know, right? Fish Tropic, how much were the D batteries? They're pretty cheap. I was able to find. I went to a dollar store and I think I picked up 2 sets for $6. So you need 4 of them. So I picked up two pairs, and I was able to pick up that for about $6. Make Mine Marvel Legends. What's going on, my friend? Toy companies produce massive amounts of plastic, trying to sell us on their concerns about the global environment footprint is completely laughable. And I sort of said that. I sort of said that about 10 minutes ago or so. Yeah, I think it is a bit of irony in there. Black Suit Spicy. What kind of yellow are you? Just curious. Chinese Canadian. You're Chinese Canadian. I am Filipino Canadian. I am Filipino Canadian. And that's my standard joke. I used to have a yellow car, so I used to make the joke, tell my friends that I'm yellow and now my car is yellow. So it works, right? That was a very standard joke for me. Again, it is a joke, okay, guys. It is a joke. So you know, I know Oz was kind of like, whoa, what the heck, man? Yeah, I know, but it's again, this is I am yellow. Like what else am I gonna say? Tim is saying hey to everybody. Aaron Hardy. Oh my god. Oh my. OMG. The last thing I was watching was super quiet. I had the volume way up, so that when Jay came in, it almost flipped me over on the couch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, Aaron. Oh my gosh. I hope you're okay. I hope we didn't make you deaf. Make my Marvel Legends become a Patreon for Mega Jane. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. I really do. I do. Thanks again. And you know what? While we're on that topic right now, I'm going to go ahead. Thank you for putting that for reminding us. Make my Marvel Legends, guys. I do want to thank my patrons all my patrons and channel member supporters who make this channel possible. They are the lifeblood of this channel and really do help me to make wonderful episodes every single week. I want to thank Princess Cagley, Old IT Guy, Ryback33, Joseph Michaels, Gamer Bud, Maniac Plastic Toy Shop, Jordan from Canada, Nolan, Mitchell Bennett, Randall Guzig, Schwartzmat, Snell's World, Skyfall, Emma Toys Canada, Palpatine 1975, Darth Kumar, Smoked Ham, Kevin Herbert, Efrain Rivera, Rufus Rogers, Nolan, there are two Nolans today, John Joker, Sir Clifton, Terrence St. John, and Oz Tremendous Toys. Guys, thank you so much for all your support for these years. You guys are freaking amazing. I really do appreciate all of the support you guys have done, to help this channel to become what it is today. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And oh my goodness, Mitchell, my friend. Hold on for a second. Let me just mark where I was. Where was I? Ah, it was right here. We are. All right. Yeah, I just saw a super chat from Mitchell. But Mitchell, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, Mitchell. You don't have to do that, Mitchell. You're so great, my friend. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It affects inbox collecting in a negative way, Jay. Hashtag not a fan. And Jay, what do video game systems do you have? Okay, so Mitchell, I used to be a major gamer. Me and my brother Dex, we collected pretty much everything. I have everything, all the old school systems. I have the Sega Master System. I have the NES toaster. I've got the Super NES. Um, I've got the Sega Saturn. I have the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Yeah, I guess I am still kind of a gamer. But the last two are Dexes, so they technically don't count. I had the Xbox 360, and I think I had the GameCube. I had the GameCube and the N64. I have them. I have them. They're in my collection. I still have them now. I think that about covers everything I have. Well, actually, no, wait. I have the Wii. The Wii U. Oh my gosh, I have tons of stuff. I have a lot of different systems. But thank you, Mitchell. I really appreciate that, brother. I hope you're doing well, guys. Definitely don't forget to keep Mitchell and his family in your thoughts. They're going through a tough year. They just lost. Mitchell just lost his dad. So, Mitchell, thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate it. You are amazing. And again, brother, thank you so much. You're incredible, Mitchell. Thank you. Again, guys, please keep Mitchell's family in your thoughts. Gabdon, I thought I would have more of a dislike for plastic perfection, but I order so much online now, so I don't get to see the figures I purchase until it arrives. There's a really good point. There is a really, really good point. In today's age where a lot of stuff is being done online, many of us never actually see the actual figures that we get. However, there is the case that if you are an inbox collector, when you see that you have a damaged figure or missing pan ups or whatever, you don't have to open it up to see that, so that you have to return it, right? So there is that too. And then there's the opposite case, which we're going to talk about soon, where what if you receive the figure that's not supposed to be the figure that's in the box? That happens quite a bit, and unfortunately, it's been becoming more prevalent than it is actually less. Pardon me, guys. Mike and my blade. Hey, Jay. Just went on a toy show and scored HasLab Victory Saver for less than $300, brother. That's an excellent score. Congratulations. That's awesome. Was the HasLab? Nice. Tim Hayes, the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi is happening, so Hasbro's slowly getting the toys out. Yes, Tim. Actually, on my channel, MJR Collector, I'm pretty sure you saw it. I found the entire wave at Walmart. So wonderful stuff. I really got lucky that day. Unfortunately, it was catch and release for me, way too expensive. Just told a lot of the guys in the group that I'm with where they were. Piano Meadow, hey Jay. Late here in Sweden. Wow, Sweden. Thank you for being here tonight, my friend. Big fan of yours. Thank you for all the great content. Krile. Uh, Krile, I'm not sure what that means, but thank you so much, the Piano Meadow. Really appreciate it. All the way from Sweden, guys. Thank you so much. Always appreciate the support. Okay, so you guys or I'll talk to you say. Okay, Payne's toy samples. Good evening, Jay and Chat. Good to see you, Payne. Anybody else that we haven't said hi to yet? Mecha Man Blade. Plastic repackaging only gives two options: gamble on a closed box, or hope someone doesn't destroy an open figure. Tried to get a card that's already been that has an open window. They're actually way more than that. Believe it or not, Mecha Man Blade. There are a lot of other details that are happening. We're going to talk about all of them tonight. David Stevens, I'm mostly a mint on card, mint in sealed box collector, so I've stopped collecting Star Wars Black Series due to plastic free packaging. Still sticking to vintage, the vintage collection and Master of the Universe lines now. And there's the other problem: there are going to be a lot of collectors who were heavy collectors for mint in box and mint on card. And now, unfortunately, a lot of them going to have to start, tapering back some of their collection. It's crazy, for obvious reasons. Paint toy sample, nostalgia toy rack is a thing and hard to break the habit. Absolutely, it's crazy. Black Suit Spicy, Tim, what up? What's going on, Tim? Natural Nate Marvel, what's going on, my friend? Just got the Mezco Crow and Cruisin' Eddie. Cruisin' Eddie is top notch. Great. Glad to hear it, Natural Nate Marvel. Ronald Embry, good to see you, my friend. What's going on, Ronald? Comics 1017. My main complaint are the weapons and the accessories getting warped or damaged in plastic-free boxes. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That happens. That happens here too. I mean, like these things are practically melted into their positions, right? So what tends to happen is if you have something with a really thin nozzle, it can get bent just as easily on plastic, um, prisons, if you will, right? Because they get warped as well. And the reality is, if you're an opener, dunk them in hot water, they should be fine, because they snap right back into place. But thanks, Comics 1070. Fish Tropic. I love how toys are being blamed for plastic problems. We're not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that it's ironic that a toy company which makes toys out of plastic is having issues with plastic free packaging. King of Wakanda, what's going on, my friend? I like plastic free packaging for the box art potential, but I hate it because you can't see the figure for the conditions. This seems to be a very very common concern among all collectors. Fish Tropic, just like our hills are to be illegal to slide down freely. I'm guessing you're joking. So anyway, Jer Bear, plastic packaging is stupid when the toy is made of plastic. I do have to chuckle at that irony, my friend. I really do. I build cars. 65% is plastic. Yeah, I know. It's really kind of crazy. It really is. Let's see here. Danny Phillips. Fish toys aren't being blamed for plastic. They are trying to reduce plastic everywhere. Why we have paper straws? I know it's just that paper straws, man. The Piano Meadow. I like to collect Star Wars Episode 1 figures. Anyone else here like to collect that stuff? I also collect TMNT, Motu, and Ghostbusters. Guys, definitely connect with the Piano Meadow all the way up in Sweden. That's awesome. Big M, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Anybody else we haven't said hi to? Oz is back in the house. The RC. Yeah, it's fine for the model kits since you paint them yourself. Okay, You guys are having a conversation to yourselves. JB's Toy Trunk. What's going on, JB? Guys, definitely check out JB's Toy Trunk. Awesome channel. I wish the retro cards were not tissue paper. Yeah, JB brings up a really good point. I was really lucky with these cards. These cards were actually pretty good. But every other single card I found, man, they are wrecked. These are really thin backing cards, like very, 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 very thin stock. So yeah, I have to be very, very careful with these guys. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Oh my gosh, Mitchell, what the heck, man? Dude, you don't have to. Mitchell, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Jay, forgot to ask you, do you know or watch the Trailer Park Boys. Love the boys. Rest in peace, John Dunsworth, aka Mister Lahi. I mean, it's a showcase show up here in Canada. Great show in terms of, like, just showing the escapades of three Trailer Park Boys, and all the trouble they get into, whether it's with on the seedy underworld, all that kind of stuff. I don't watch it religiously. Every now and then I'll catch an episode. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun ride, no matter what. At the end of the day, if we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at, right? So yeah, definitely very, very cool Canadian show. Thank you for thank you again for the $5 super chat, Mitchell. But again, please, you don't have to, brother. I really appreciate it. Tim Haynes, they also Blu-ray and DVDs. Yeah, I know it's all plastic. It really, like, it's crazy. D Spirit, hail MJ. Yeah, thanks, D Spirit. Appreciate that, brother. JB, the good mustache though. Yeah, I know it's not bad. He's got that porn stash. He wears it well. He always has. Okay. Anybody else we haven't said hi to? Jeremy Kimberlin, what's going on, my friend? I don't care about the numbers. I buy what I want myself. There you go, my friend. There you go. That's a really good attitude to have, for sure. What makes you happy, my friend. Do what makes you happy. Sorry, guys, I am skipping because there's not much I can do. D Spirit says Boba Fett started FOMO. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure if he actually did start FOMO, but he definitely is one of those dang big FOMO pieces that is hard to resist. David Stevens. Thankfully, Hasbro kept the plastic bubble for TVC. It would have killed the line likely. It could have had awful packaging like the cardboard bubble on the D&D figures. We are going to touch on that, David. I'm going to bring your point back up a little later, but thank you for bringing that up. Unicorns left nut. Yeah, right. D Spirit, plastic figures on their face are not good for the environment. This is the war on. Is this a war on toys? No, I don't think it's a war on toys. I think that because if it was, the higher ups at Hasbro and Mattel would not be doing this. I think that they would be fighting against it. It's a voluntary thing that they're looking into, honestly. And there's so many different opinions on this, so that's why I wanted to sort of just take a look at what's been happening out there. Retro Action UK, what's going on, my friend? Hello, paper straws have already invaded here, and I hate them too because you can't drink through paper. I ironically laugh at that because honestly, half the time, like about I mean, even just 1/3 of the way, if you haven't taken a sip in a while, the whole thing just starts getting really, really soggy. It's just it's just bad. Danny, paper straws are ridiculous, especially if you have ice in your drink. It'll work for 2 sips, and then you got to chuck it. Yeah, and you know what? My brother Dex brought up a good point. He says if you don't like the paper straw, pop off the lid and just use it like a cup. And you know what? That's actually worked out really well for me. I don't know if it's going to work out well for you guys, but truthfully, that works really, really well for me. It doesn't really work that well in the car, though. I just have to say it that way. Let's see here. Anybody else that I haven't said hi to yet? I don't see anybody. D Spirit says can't have paper action figures. That's not true. That is not true. They're actually starting to make these 3D puzzles. They're not action figures per se, but they really do look cool, like a lot of vehicles. I saw the Millennium Falcon at the mall once, completely done in cardboard. It was amazing. It really was absolutely incredible. Mythic Dolphin at Jay. Off topic for your information. Mondo did send me the missing She-Ra comb axe. It arrived Friday, January 20th. At 25th. Congratulations, Mythic Dolphin. And you know what? We will talk a little bit about what's going on with Mondo very, very soon. Batfan 1. I know that Hasbro can do to save the plastic. I know what Hasbro can do to save on the plastic. Don't put money out on so many unnecessary toy lines. They're a toy company, Batman One. That's a really tough thing to really nail down. Juan Soto, Jay, biodegradable. Don't give them ideas, Jay. Honestly, it's not an idea. Biodegradable plastic is not something new. It's been out forever, but it sucks. It's really not very durable at all. It's really, really quite terrible. Anybody else? Retro Action UK. That's crazy. I didn't expect that. It is possible. At the end of the day, it is something possible. Micah's in the house. What's going on, Micah? How are you doing tonight? Aaron, I'm absolutely for it, even after getting a broken figure. Oh man, like plastic packaging it has its uses. Truthfully. Oz, I'm here, brother. Just let me bring out the laptop. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. Yes, happy J. Hit those emojis, guys. Hit those emojis. Animator. I don't know anyone who likes plastic free packaging. I know a few people who don't care and don't mind. It's something that does and will happen. Let's see here. Actually, you know what? On that note, I'm going to Spirit. I heard AFA stopped doing loose figure grading. I suspect prices on graded figures will go through the roof. Is that true? I don't think that's possible. There's so many that no, that can't be possible. Oz, do me a favor. Can you look that up? Has AFA actually stopped grading loose figures? That would be nuts. That would be dumb. I don't know about that, D Spirit. That just doesn't sound possible. I just noticed something, and I'm very happy to see this. Oh wow, Nia Celestia, thank you, my friend, for the $5 super chat. You didn't have to, especially considering you just got home. Oh my god, I miss you too. Hope to see you sometime. I know you're home. How do you do this again? I guess. Yeah, so happy to see you. I never done that before, but just for you, Nia Celestia. There you go. So happy that you're home, Nia Celestia. Yes, we will hang out, my friend. 100% we will hang out. Definitely need to see you sooner rather than later. Wow, McFly Toys, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Really appreciate that. Plastic free packaging has pushed me off of buying Legends as I'm an inbox collector. The only way I will buy a windowless Marvel Legends is off on clearance. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And this is the thing; it is actually pushing away people from the hobby. It's crazy. Not that the pricing itself hasn't pushed people away from the hobby too. It's crazy. Anybody else that we haven't said hi to? Joel Mullins. Paper straws are disgusting. You're not going to get any argument from me, my friend. Payne's toy samples. Did they ban plastic cups in Canada? I mean, like if you think about it, we don't really have we don't have too many problems with plastic cups. If you go to McDonald's, you're getting a paper cup. McDonald's already, like, for the longest time, has had paper cup with wax. With wax inserts into them. So that's just been the way it is. Guys, you know what? This has been it's been a fascinating topic, bar none. And it's always hard for me, to not have perspective. I appreciate all the perspectives that you guys have been giving, but to help out a little bit with their own take on this. And I think it's going to be fascinating as we're all collectors in general. But guys, I want you to help me welcome two special guests tonight. From the Toy Habits website. They work very, very hard on this website. I hope you guys will help me welcome Michael from Toy Habits. Michael, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up,
What's
Mega
going
J?
on, brother? Guy, if
And
you
the
can make
Mega
it.
J
And of
crowd.
course, guys, the other half of the Toy Habits team who works very, very hard on the website. Guys, if you haven't already, definitely check out Toy Habits on the internet as well as on YouTube. Please welcome Toy Sorceress. What's going on, my
Hi.
friend? How are you?
Hi, Jay.
Good to see
How's
you
it going
guys.
tonight?
Thank you for joining me. Like I wasn't sure you guys were able to make it, but thank you guys so much for joining me
We
tonight.
couldn't stay away.
It's all
Had to-
good.
had
You
to
guys are
jump in.
always welcome, and of course, if you ever need some opinions on your side of the fence, I would definitely love to join you guys anytime.
Sure.
But first of all, guys, how are you tonight? How have things been? How's the weekend?
Doing good. Been busy with news, right?
Absolutely, things are going like crazy, right?
Oh, geez. There's so much Motu news that dropped, and also G.I. Joe leaks too. And it's like, I don't think we put out this much stuff over 2 days in a very long time.
Yeah.
Just crazy,
Busy
just
news.
crazy. And you know what? It's I don't want to poke the bear too much, but it's just crazy. Like, the line is ending apparently, right?
Right. So, like, why even bother teasing new figures, right? It's ending.
Yeah.
Or maybe
The
they made
line
all
is
the
ending, yeah.
packaging before it was ending, and now they just have
It's
to do it.
already produced. It's like waiting in the factory to be shipped out right now.
I feel bad about saying things like that.
They're
But
just gonna get it all out before April.
what
1st.
am I going to say, right? What am I going to say? I mean, like, let's stay on topic. Let's stay on target. Stay on target. We gotta stay on this idea. Okay, so I'm gonna put it to you two now, because I've been talking about, like, for a little while now. What are your thoughts? Like, plastic-free packaging, such a polarizing issue right now. I mean, I personally understand where it's coming from. I am not exactly for it. It's just the nostalgia in me just won't really allow for it. I mean, look behind you, Michael. I mean, honestly, it just isn't
Right.
it just a wall like that? Isn't it just gorgeous, right? And Toys R Us opens her collection, obviously. So we're not gonna just
I've got quite the collection
just
down here.
gorgeous, right? But let me
Right.
ask you too. What are your thoughts? Like, please, go ahead. Take it. What are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, so when they announced plastic-free packaging, I was not for it whatsoever. And I think, like you said, it's the nostalgia, but there's also the fact that I actually want to see the figures that I'm buying. And I think Jay, I saw your short. Uh, I don't know when you published it, but you were looking at the Masterverse 40th anniversary He-Man, and you know, there's times where I've missed paint defects, and there's times where I've, gotten a figure home, and I'm like, how did I miss this? But you're gonna miss it all the time.
Yeah, and that's with the packaging, right? That's with the
Right,
cellophane, right? I've
right.
got actually, it was funny because I did a hunt and I went to just a quick story. I did a hunt and we had a discount store here. It's called Winners, and I was super excited because I saw Lucky from Ghostbusters on sale for half off, and I just snatched it up immediately. But later on, somebody in the chat, somebody in the comment section just said, "Oh, you just bought a swapped figure," and I was like, "What?" And it wasn't until then that I looked at the package and I saw that the Build-A-Figure part had been swapped, right? And I didn't realize it because I was so excited, right, that I'd found this figure on sale because I hadn't seen her anywhere. So I just kind of like, and just like you're saying, sometimes you're in a rush and you just don't notice it. So, and that's with plastic-free packaging. That's with plastic packaging. So,
So
Toy Story says, what?
there are times when I buy figures for other people, and I painstakingly go like
Yeah.
through and like look. So this happened twice. When they produced the Masterverse Battle Cat, I don't think they let the paint dry on the saddle, and so what
Hmm.
happens was the saddle rests up against the plastic, and it actually makes paint on the plastic. And when you take it out, it actually makes a defect
Yeah.
in your package. And then the same thing happened with the Motu Origins Rulers of the Sun 3-pack. It was Pighead's shield,
Hmm.
and that shield has a lot of defects in it. So it's kind of hard to find a good one, but you still have to
Yeah.
comb over it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
Crazy.
mean, I've gotten stuff shipped to me from Entertainment Earth where I received my Masterverse Visto and his eyes were like painted down here.
No.
Totally like offset, like factory, right?
Oh my God.
So if I saw that in a store, I'd be like, no, like pass on that and grab a better one. So I could only imagine, what's going to happen when you can't see the figure. But the other problem is, and I'm sure we've all talked about it already, is figure swapping. I mean, people have no, scruples
No,
whatsoever, and they'll go and buy something.
no
And it's like,
shame.
oh, okay, let's can't
They
afford
have
a
all the they have
20
all
or
the
$30
scruples, but no
figure,
shame.
and they'll shove something else in the box. I mean, and I've seen ridiculous stuff that poor customers go and they take something home, they open it up. It's like you think you're getting like Spider-Man and like somebody else, and there's two like lame ass like Marvel Legends figures that were on clearance or something like shoved in the box. Who
That
wants
see,
that?
around
Yeah.
Christmas time, I found a couple of swap figures, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I would be mortified as a kid. I would be mortified as a kid
Yeah.
if I was expecting T'Challa, right, from what's it called, Black Panther.
Yeah.
If I was expecting T'Challa and I got Black Widow, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I would be absolutely mortified by that, and I would literally be crying. Think about it: you're ripping open your package, Christmas
Hmm.
morning, right, and you're hoping for something like amazing,
Yeah.
and you see the top of the box, you're like, oh my God, it's T'Challa, and you look inside, you're like, the heck is that? And you'd be crying. You know
Oh
what I mean?
my God.
Like, that's so terrible.
I,
But
I saw like a live unboxing of some Dungeons and Dragons figures, and I forget what the girl character name is, but there was like a girl and a guy,
yeah, it's
Hank.
Diana.
And so the
Yeah,
guy's unboxing, he gets the girl character, then he goes to unbox Hank, and it's another of the girl character, but like factory inserted in there.
yeah.
So even someone at the factory screwed up and put the wrong figure in the box, and how are you going to know because it's closed?
It does
You
happen
know?
though, right? It does
Yeah,
happen. I
it
mean,
does happen.
it's something that it's again, if it can happen in the factory, it can happen everywhere, right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, and I'm going to bring it up. Actually, we're going to talk about this, but basically, you're not for, neither of you are for plastic free, right?
Oh, not at all.
Just,
I mean, I have loose figures all over my room, but then I do with my select, figures I really like. I'd love to have them on card and I display them. And I want to see the actual character. If I want to display an empty box, I will. And here's the other problem that Hasbro is totally missing out on. People buy 2 of each, one when they want to display it, right? One to open and one to keep on card. They are losing half the sales right there, because if you're going to keep on card a closed package-free box, who cares if it's empty inside? You take your figure out, you got a loose figure, and now you can put the stupid closed card out on display and not have to spend money for 2 figures.
absolutely.
So Hasbro's shooting themselves in the foot and losing sales right there. And isn't 30 to 40% of collectors, MOC collectors, the mock collectors, they love to put stuff on card. They're losing sales right there. I mean,
100%.
that's dumb.
100%.
If I was a marketing executive, I'd be like, this is a stupid move. Yes, I'm so for the environment, but they're losing sales. So maybe try and cut down on plastic somewhere else and leave the window display.
They've had some unique They had some unique ideas. Really quickly, guys. Jared Bear is asking, is anybody not seeing the poll? Oz, if you would do me a favor, brother, could you just create a new poll on MJR Collector? Because I only made the poll on Mega J Retro. Speaking of which, let's go check that poll right now. Let's find out what people think. So the poll, how do I bring this thing up? Okay, here we go. Okay. I think I can. Okay, let me bring up the poll. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna throw this into. This is where it gets a little cumbersome here. I'm gonna throw this into. Can I throw it? Well, there it is. All right, so let me just throw this in here really quick.
I'm super impressed how you multitask all this stuff anyway, Jay.
So you guys can see that?
Yep.
All right, so guys, the poll, according to the poll right now, on Mega J Retro, it was 93 votes. 11 says it's awesome. 67% says absolutely not. 22% say I don't care. And of course, there's always going to be the funny little guys who say that what the heck is plastic, right? So yeah, definitely so far. It's really a toss-up, but a lot of people are not for this, at least in this community right now. This community is not really a pro plastic free. McFly Toys, I used to buy 2 of each Marvel Legends for that purpose. Now Hasbro is lucky if I buy one on clearance, and that's exactly going with your point, Toy Sorceress. Like they are losing out on opportunities because of doing this. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really at wit's end right now. Have you guys been noticing swaps in your area? Because it seems to me I'm just gonna put this out there. It seems to me that it might, in my opinion, I do notice swapping here and there, but that's because I do a ton of hunting, right? We a lot of people know that. But in your neck of the woods, have you noticed an increase in swaps, for example? What are your guys?
I would say yes, and it's not due to actually the plastic-free packaging. There's one Target that is notorious for accepting things that they don't even look like the character on the box. And, maybe the return folks are, always supposed to treat the customer like the customer is always right. But I always take those figures back to customer service and I'm like, can you just please take this off the floor? It's the wrong figure. So I have noticed an increase in swaps. I have not yet run across one in plastic-free packaging, but I don't think I've opened a bunch of stuff. The only thing that I've bought that's plastic free, I think, is Duke and the Ram Cycle. And that actually came directly from Target. So I didn't buy it from the store. So I was lucky there. But Chaz the Guru just posted something on his Instagram for a Duke and the Ram Cycle swap. They actually left the cycle, but replaced the figure. So it's like you open it and you get a nice surprise. But
my thing is, I mean, I've noticed swaps in actually plastic displayed packaging. So there was a nice 40th anniversary He-Man with the version 1 Revelation He-Man in the package, and I was like, oh, that's sad. But for me personally, just being a toy collector and a consumer, when I see something I want to buy, like I was looking at Snake Eyes with Timber at Target, and the first thought I had to my head is, well, how do I know that's really in there? And I start looking at the box. Has it been tampered with? Has it not? And I get hesitant to even buy it because I'm worried that it's not, they might be swapped out for something else. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy this in the store. I want to get like a factory fresh one sent to me by, one of the fan retail sites or directly from Hasbro, because I don't trust it. And that's a problem, right? So I don't even want to take it home and take that chance. And if I'm feeling that way, I'm sure a lot of people are.
Yeah. I am. It's so frustrating. It's just, and it will continue. This debate is not going to stop. You know what I mean? It's just not going to stop. I mean, there's so many concerns in the world right now, outside of these, first world problems, right? That's what this ends up being. This is a first world problem, right? But it's this is an issue which is continuing, but we're not here to judge anybody. Okay, we're not here to put a stamp on this. That's not what we're here for. I just wanted to find out other people's experiences, and thank you for sharing, because this is exactly what I was thinking. Now, on your note, on your on both of your notes, actually, Michael and Toy Sorcerer, the stores do not have time. This is something we have to just understand. I was at a Walmart the other day, and stupidly, I tried to return something on January 3rd. How stupid is that? That is the stupidest thing I don't think anybody could have done, and I did it. I tried to return something on January 3rd. Why the heck would I do that? Why the heck would I go on January 3rd to return something? It was so dumb. I was in that line for 2 hours. Okay, I was in that line for 2 hours because obviously you're going to get Christmas presents you don't want. Obviously you're going to get a second Christmas present which somebody didn't think that you had. Things like that, right? Whatever. And I was of course the one person who wanted to return this. They do not have time to look. They really don't. They're just going to take you at your word, and they don't. Then they're so pissed off at that point. They're just not in the mood. And you know what? Bless them. I'm going to go ahead and say this, and everyone, bless them for everything that they do. They take a lot of crap, okay? They do, and honestly, it's not their fault when this happens. But I have to say this. I've done what you've done, Michael, and unfortunately, it's gone back on the floor about a week later.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say, it just is. They don't know any better. They just really don't. Or it'll go on discount. And that to me is just disingenuous. That's terrible. They shouldn't be doing that.
I think too, it's like, one, they don't have the time, but I think also too, like nobody's trained them to have a keen eye to be like, oh, this figure is actually different. Like there was another figure that was swapped in a G.I. Joe Classified Series Flint box that kind of looked like Flint. So it kind of looked like the picture on the package, but it wasn't Flint.
So Jay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Because the places that me and Michael shop are a store that sells everything. So we go to Target, we go to Walmart. There's a toy section. There's groceries, there's clothes, there's all sorts of stuff. So these people that work at customer service, they don't know anything about toys, right? But you have Toys R Us in Canada. And so they should know more about, action figures, toys, etc. At least have a little bit more knowledge. So does this still go on at Toys R Us? I mean, I can get it at a Target or Walmart because they're not experts at it. It's a multiple chain store with all sorts of product in it. But does it happen at Toys R Us too?
You put me on the spot here, but
oh no, I'm just curious if you've seen
no,
it.
I meant that I visit so many Toys R Us's that I'm trying to recall like something standing out. I think I found a swap figure once at Toys R Us, just once.
So they do a little bit better.
Well, okay, so A, I think they do. B, it's harder now. They're implementing policies now with Toys R Us because they used to take they used to take anything. You could return it like a year later, like that kind of situation. It was kind of crazy. But now they've for obvious reasons they started hammering down on that stuff. I think I've only ever found it once, a swap figure, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was shocked. I was actually very, very shocked. I'm almost 100% certain I'm almost 100% certain I have it on an episode. And the reason I was shocked is because I was like, wow, this guy bothered. I think that was the biggest problem. He bothered to do it. And the reason I say he bothered to do it is because the Winter Soldier had two releases, right? The Winter Soldier had two releases. One in 20, I think it was one in 2018 and another one 2020. And it was just a couple of paint app differences. And for whatever reason, you know what? Here's something I will say, and let me ask you guys if you agree with this. I think swappers do this for fun. I don't think they do it because they're collecting anything. I think they're doing it just to get a laugh out of this. Because
To see
why
what they
would
can
you
get away with.
bother? Why would you bother swapping? Why would you bother swapping a 2018 figure for a 2020 figure? Are you that anal in terms of like getting the absolute latest version of the Winter Soldier? Normally when I see something swapped, it's because it's like somebody who looks basically like the other figure, whatever, right? This one was a 1-to-1 swap with the exact same figure with different paint apps. I was like, you did this just to get a laugh out of this. This is ridiculous. So, do I think that Toys R Us is better at catching these things? No, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't believe so. Do I think that it's faster at Toys R Us? Sorry, at Walmart, and it's easier and people are braver to do it? I think the answer is yes, because I think when you get into a situation where these people are just not caring, right? That's where, and I think that you've hit the nail on the head. I think people are just a little bit scared, or a little bit more apprehensive, thinking that, well, Toys R Us must know what they're doing because they do nothing but toys. So basically, people are more cautious in trying to do a swap there if they even bother. The other thing is Toys R Us is damn expensive up here, so trying to even buy one at Toys R Us
Still expensive.
is kind of
I feel for you guys as collectors up in Canada.
So
I see those prices, and it's like
that actually brings up another point. So I guess if you're returning something in plastic-free packaging, you actually could tell the customer service people like, oh, I got this home and I opened it and it had a different figure in it when it didn't. So that's another sneaky way that people can do this.
That's true.
Instead of having it out in the open where it's actually obvious and that you could see it. It's like you're not going to buy the figure in showing a different figure and return it and say, oh, I must have missed it.
Absolutely. Oz, if you're still there, just check the chat. So basically I'm going to start, let's bring up a few more examples, because truthfully things are not happy in Toy Town. Let's just put it that way. So honestly, I'm not shocked, but things have been progressing in so many different ways. I mean, obviously generational, right? Earlier in the year, like these guys over at the Republic Commando sets, they started off with plastic packaging, right? We can definitely see beautiful figures. Get your jokes out now. Obviously, they're the exact same figure over and over again, but
it's Christmas colors.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop me from buying them though.
Why bother? Why bother with those special Christmas editions? We already got it here.
Michael's Star Wars collection is mostly my fault. Don't get him started.
It's all good. It's all good. And now we're seeing the transition to the boxes. Now, I had a comment in the comment section in the chat earlier. Some people actually think this is great. Some people think that the artwork is going to get better, and we're going to see a lot of these things, a lot more interesting package design. But in terms of this, there are a lot of people who are saying, well, they're showing the 3D rendering. Why don't they at least show the figure itself? So I'm not sure. Are you guys fans of this type of packaging? What are your thoughts on this transitional aspect of it?
Not at all. I love seeing the actual figure in the window display because we've all seen this, right? We've seen official images and we've seen what the actual figure looks like. So this is actually going to make YouTube toy reviews that much more important, because this is the first time that people are going to be seeing the figure in real life, unless it's on a live stream or a fan stream. But yeah, there's always differences between those really nice photoshopped high-res production images and what you get.
Well, that's also another thing that is really important is, you can't see the quality of the figure. It might look really cool in the rendering, but how do you know that that's what it actually looks like? I remember Jay from Geek Dead Life bought a couple of Thor figures from that new movie, and it was like the Thor and the female character, and they look really cool on the outside of the box. But when he opened them, they were like super cheap plastic. They were like really gummy. Their articulation was horrendous, and he ended up having to return the things. So, it's like you don't even know what you're getting. Is it like misrepresentation? There's a cool rendering, and then what's inside?
It is, again, just a continual idea of this. How can I say this properly? They are learning. You know what I mean? Like this is all a learning experience for everybody. Like what's working, what's not. Unfortunately, people are people, and we're all going to have different opinions on what we like and what we don't. And for me, it's all about the nostalgia, and of course, as you said, Michael. And you know what? We're gonna talk about that right now, pretty much. So here's an example of one of the sets which has been put in a plastic-free packaging, right? Again, major, like, here we go again. These are not the figures themselves. These are 3D renderings. You know what I mean? And you can tell that they're 3D renderings because that's not what the actual figure looks like. You know what I mean?
It's so funny you mentioned that, because I haven't looked at these super closely, and I'm like, yep, you're right.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And even the lighting is not 100%. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And what I find really ironic is on the side of the box, it's not. It's actually a sketch. You know what I mean? Like this is it's so many. It's so far departed from where we are at. But what's most important about this particular photo is when we zoom out, we have this new type of packaging too, and I don't know. The experience itself is very. Have you guys ever opened one of these?
Yeah.
I'm not too jazzed about the experience. It's either they're mummified, they're mummified in these paper prisons now, right? Or they're strapped down. They're strapped down, like prisoner style, using twine. I think it's twine. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
The head looks like it's some kind of like torture device.
It does.
That's wrapped around
It looks like a rack. It looks like a stretch rack. It looks like they're being stretched to high heaven. You know what I mean? Like
what I'm super worried. So I think the only figure that I've opened so far is Duke and the Ram Cycle, and I was so worried that I was going to miss an accessory, because the way that they pack accessories now is they will sandwich them between two cardboard pieces. And I was like, did one get lost? Like, I thought I'd lost one, but it was lost in my bed. And yes, sometimes I open my toys in bed.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Why wouldn't you? You need to be comfortable, right? You must lose a lot of pieces, Mike.
I do.
Yeah. Do you have like little like accessories like poking you in the side, Michael, when you're
They're all, I mean, if you could see my room in the state it in right now, you would be horrified, but that's another story.
Oz, do me a favor, if you could keep flashing a few of those. I just saw Oz right now. If you could keep flashing the comments, I appreciate that, Oz. All right, so this is one aspect of it, which is in and of itself an issue. But they have been getting creative on certain aspects of it. Right now, what's popular with Hasbro is these cellophane is windows, right? But no cellophane. All right. Now, I have some comments on this, but I'm curious to find out about your comments on this. What do you guys think about this?
I like this as a middle ground, and it doesn't discourage. So what ends up happening now is figures are just taken from the package in the store, and so sometimes you will come across an empty box or a head. That's what I've seen most is heads that are just gone. Or like an accessory that people just, and I don't know why they're doing it, but maybe it's like you said, maybe they're getting a kick out of it. But I do like it as a middle ground because you can actually see the figure.
Yeah. So I have a question, and I'm 100% for the environment. Like I'm a tree hugger. I've got Smokey the Bear hat on, but maybe there's a middle ground between plastic-free packaging and plastic-reduced packaging. So in order to stop theft, figure swapping, losing accessories or parts or etc., they can still do this and do a small little minimal amount of plastic on that open window portion of it to avoid people's fingers getting in there and stealing the figure and the accessories. That way, they still made all the interior, stuff cardboard with the little cardboard ties and everything. You can see a small schmitten of the character inside. Make sure the paint looks good, and it's just a small amount of plastic. So I think that's probably the better middle ground. That's great. We have to fight our battles with how we're going to help save the environment. But I think with toys, there's presentation and what the package looks like, what the quality of the figure looks like, what the paint is, and also, reducing theft and shrink. Stores don't want to lose product either. So maybe Hasbro's answer is to do this with a small piece of plastic on that cutout part.
Okay,
I think that would be a great answer to it.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pardon me. I'm going to go ahead and answer that question with an example, because you hit the nail on the head. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And not only that, it's been done. So I'm just looking for I'm just looking for the actual box. But give me 1 second. On the other note that Michael brought up, that trend, Michael, was actually very, very prevalent early on. This is something that was a huge.
That's the one.
A huge trend. This was and you know what? It's crazy. TikTok is terrible. All right. TikTok made this into a thing to steal heads from LeBron.
Oh, that's why it happened. Okay, I was like, why is this happening?
It was a TikTok. It was a TikTok thing. It was a huge TikTok thing, and it was just one of those things which somebody showed it, and then somebody got curious, and then all of a sudden it was like these TikTok challenges. They're like, "Can you steal the heads from LeBron?" It made for and what happened was eventually they started putting these figures in the back where nobody could steal them, and they were never sold. I think actually if you find one complete with a head, it's actually worth a little bit of money now. It's crazy. Wow. It's just absolutely nuts.
That's nuts.
I'm trying to find that one shot because I do have it. I did find it. Just give me 1 second and I'll try to get it.
It's funny because this is the exact figure that I recall seeing, and I was like, "What is the deal?" Like, what are people doing? I had no idea it was a TikTok challenge.
Yeah, me too. I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't know it was.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
I used to be, but I was like, I would just make like funny little toy animations on there, but it's a lot of work.
So here's an example, and this is Hasbro. Okay, this is Hasbro Victory Royale series, and if we zoom in, right, they've reduced the window considerably. Like, it's a freaking tiny window, but if we look very, very carefully, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that this is a cellophane window, right? Yeah. It is a tiny thing. It is literally like honestly, it's ridiculously crazy. But look at the amount of paper that they've used up here. I mean, even the hang tab is double stitched. You know what I mean? Like, this is and this is my question, and you don't have to answer it because honestly, it's a loaded question. But I thought we were trying to save the trees now, and one of the reasons we saved the trees was to go to plastic. Plastic was supposed to save the trees, and now plastic. Obviously, we learn, right? This is about learning because we learned that plastic was not good for the environment, as was deforestation. There's got to be as you said, there's got to be a happy medium somewhere.
Yeah,
like
maybe they got to use some kind of recycled product, right?
This is the exact thing that, when I was opening the O-Ring 2-packs, it was kind of the middle ground between plastic-free packaging, and they still had the plastic bubbles on the cards, but that's where I first got a taste of like the weapons in the boxes and stuff like that. And I was like, there's so much more packaging that I'm actually opening, and there's so much more in here. I'm like, is it going to cancel each other out? Like, I don't know.
So, sorry. So, Toy Sources, did you want to say something? I thought we're.
Oh no. I was just agreeing, but what I was saying is maybe there's a way they could use some kind of more recycled paper products or something that maybe would be eventually biodegradable. I don't know what it is, but I fully agree with you because I love trees,
Yeah,
and I don't want to see them get cut down because they're trying to reduce plastic.
it's crazy.
But
It's
definitely using some kind of recycled material would be great, and hopefully it looks good to be able to print, nice glossy
well, I mean, that's what this is,
packaging
right?
product.
I mean,
Right?
that's what this is, right? That's what this means. This cellophane piece is recycled
Yeah, there
plastic,
you go. There
right?
you
That's
go.
what that's that. I mean, if that's what they
Yeah,
were hoping for, right? And
yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but this does have holders as well. And one of the things it actually says on the logo they've created is that holders are exempt from that. Like twine, like the little
Yeah.
straps that hold the arms
Yeah.
together and stuff like that. Um, Having said that, though, this is a solution, right? It's a unique, interesting way of doing it, but it does lead itself to other problems because if just like what Michael brought up, what both of you brought up, it can lead to problems like oh, sorry, let me just there. It can lead to problems like this, right? This is a
Mhm.
double whammy right here. Uh,
Yeah.
so as you can see, Soundwave is missing his head, okay,
Oh
because
my God, you're right.
of course they're
He's a
gonna
little peg.
of course they're going to take his head, right? Again, it's this TikTok challenge thing. But not only that, when you're just picking up the figure, like I've done this. I tend to give it a good grip because they fall out of my hands like I'm butterfingers like that. And in this case, somebody just went a little too hard and it completely ruined the top of the
Yeah.
packaging. I mean, this a lot of times you're going to see this now, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, you
Yeah.
also have to think about the structural integrity of a box, right? And so if you don't have a plastic layer or, something reinforcing
Mhm.
that top portion, it actually could cave during shipping too. Like it gets bounced around
Oh yeah.
in the boxes.
Yep.
And so you're going to see, I feel really bad. It's like a double whammy for the mint on card
Yeah.
collectors or mint in box collectors.
100%.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing to take into consideration. And you know what? This could be again them trying to reduce waste, right? The the backing cards on these things are like newest one. They're incredibly thin. Like I think
They're
JB's
like
Toy Con
paper
just
thin. Yeah.
just mentioned it. These things are so thin, right?
Mhm.
You go back to Master Universe Classics. This this thing is
Yeah.
this thing is tough. Like this
These
is
are solid.
one solid
Mhm.
piece of like listen to that. Like
Yeah.
that is a piece of cardboard right there. This I don't
Yeah.
even want to do
So
that with it.
you
Actually,
know the one thing I've noticed, and maybe it's because Marvel has big bucks, but if you look at any of those like Marvel retro figures that are, with the blister bubble, and they have beautiful card backs, and they're actually sandwiched together, so they're twice as thick. They're really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gorgeous, and they don't bend at all. But then you look at a poor, GI Joe retro figure, and it's like this floppy piece of cardboard because they don't have that IP behind them. It's like, oh, Hasbro's, paying it right out of their pockets. There's no,
The
big bucks from Hollywood putting in extra money to back the IP.
the
So,
irony of the cards you're talking about, though, the irony of the cards
mhm.
you're talking about, they are a swapper's dream.
Yes.
Because of the way they're sandwiched, right? There are tutorials online. You can actually look it up. You just
Yeah.
just type in how to swap or something like that. How to swap Wolverine classic card figure. They literally
Wow.
just they put a knife into the middle section where it's sandwiched together. They literally pry the whole thing apart together, and you can literally just slip out the. It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh.
It's ridiculous, but
savages.
I
And then
know
like
what you're
glue it back
saying, and
together.
you're
That's
absolutely right.
horrible.
It is horrible,
Horrible.
and this is the reality we have to live with now. It's crazy. Um, Furthering on with this idea, though, Michael, you were talking about how you're opening up. Pardon me. You're opening up packages, and there's just tons of waste, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is what they were trying to highlight that with plastic packaging, right? And this is the point that they were trying to make. With plastic packaging, you get a ton of waste, right?
Yes.
Like I think that's what they were trying to get their point across. But in my opinion, there's even more waste with the paper version. You know what I mean? Like I understand where this is coming from. I get this, but there needs to be some sort of Toy Sorceress. You're right.
Yeah.
This is not the solution yet. We're not there yet, but where are we going to get to? It's kind of crazy, right?
So, do you know if Hasbro is going to be going to plastic-free packaging at some point and just doing away with plastic, but in a gradual manner?
So here's the funny thing, and again, let's just being ironic, right? Being a business, right? A business. When the concerns of plastic free, well, what am I doing? When the concerns of plastic free packaging came out, okay, the very first time it was actually brought up. Sorry, I just have anything to pick and choose from here, so I'm doing it right now. But basically, a ton of fans were very, very concerned at the idea that if I'm buying a retro figure, right? If I'm buying a retro figure, the reason I buy a retro figure is because of nostalgia. Oh, there you go. There you go. You see,
I got mine too.
You got
I have that downstairs too.
You have to, right? You just have to, right? What is it that Jay says? It's the Boba Fett tax. If you don't get it right away, you're going to pay triple, right? That's the problem with Boba Fett. But a lot of people were concerned that this, right, was going to stop them from picking up figures in the future, because they collect these specifically because this reminds them of their childhood.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what happened was a lot of people were vocal about this. And as I said before, if you don't think that Hasbro's listening, they are listening, because much of the complaints come from Twitter, they come from Instagram, they come from YouTube, and they have social media teams that look at this stuff. All right. Michael, you're a reacher. This is stuff that comes by your desk all the time.
And I work for Twitter. So
well, there you go. So, you're not supposed to say that. Anyway,
I used to. I don't anymore.
That's another kind of
I know, right?
I am not ready to go down that rabbit hole.
I'm not either. It's too soon.
So once that was addressed, right? They just made an announcement a few months ago saying we will not be touching TVC or any sort of retro line. Retro lines will keep their plastic. So if anybody is wondering why Indiana Jones retro is on plastic, it's because they made that mandate. But at the end of the day, it's one of these things like where are you going to draw the line? Where are you going to make this
right.
a stance? Where are you going to do that? And they to their credit, they have continued to release plastic free as this continues to go on. But in a small victory, I guess, if you want to call it that, we are still keeping retro, and that is a huge boon for everyone, because a lot of people collect retro specifically because it reminds them of the packaging and the whole thing about the experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole experience of doing this thing. I mean, if you look at the Sky Striker, every single one of those is on a bubble card, right? Like if you guys have seen any of the openings right now
on reinforced cardboard,
reinforced. Thank God, right? Thank goodness. Yeah. I think they're learning from that too. I think there's so many complaints with these. As I said, these things are just ridiculously.
They come bent.
Yeah,
horrible.
Just in shipping.
I was shocked when I found these. Like seriously, like huge thanks to huge thanks to my hunter group for helping with this. Just crazy. Yeah, it's going to be a continual talking point at the end of the day. And further to that point, here we have an example of what we're talking about: open face packaging.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look a little closer. What do you notice, guys, on that face?
The eyes are missing.
The eyes are missing. And
so there's a paint defect right there.
In this case, this was a good the open box helped out here. You know what I mean? This is one of those things. It's a kid's toy, and you know what? It's actually not bad. But at least you have you have the time. At least it's there. And we do need to find this medium. We do need to find that little safe space that can make this happen, because this is an indication where you shouldn't be buying this. I mean, that's definitely a factory mistake. Like that's a problem. I don't know. So myself, I'm not so against the open packaging, but Michael, you bring up a good point. The heads just tend to disappear. Accessories tend to disappear.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's just And it's just you know what? I don't think it's actually theft. I think it's vandalism.
Mm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're right. At some level, people do get off on. You know what? There's something inside certain people that if they can get one over on somebody, it makes them feel so good inside. And this is just, I think it's another example.
It's crazy. And Toy Story
I
Stores, have you
agree.
seen anything like this? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, accessories missing and heads missing too. But with simple figures like this, especially with a kid's toy, and because they're a lower price point, most of the time, like they don't come with an accessory, or maybe if they do, it could be like packaged maybe on the bottom or maybe behind the figure, where it's not like too much of a key item, so it won't be prone to theft. I think with things like this, it's okay. And maybe all they got to do is add something like cinched around the head to keep it from being taken, and they can reduce their plastic that way. But with collectors items, I think there needs to be another solution, a happy median, also because you're not going to have too many mock collectors buying this Venom figure. But if this was a 6-inch Legends version of him, then yeah, and they're going to want to keep it on card. If it's just an art on a box, they're not going to buy two; they'll buy
Yeah.
one.
And
yeah, but
So they gotta balance it a little bit better, help their bottom line, make sure that their sales stay healthy, but at the same time reduce, that the vandalism, the theft, the swapping out, and also make sure that the packages arrive safely and people can see the quality of the product. Also, when kids um get stuff for like birthday presents and parents are out shopping for the gifts, for the birthday gifts, to them, like what the toy looks like and is presented, that's a big deal because the kid's gonna open it at the party and be like, oh mom, look what I got. And if he holds up just a box with some artwork on it, it's like, all right, kind of. But if he can see the toy, then he'll be super excited. So, there has to be a better solution.
Michael, were you going to say something, or
I was just like wah wah. It's like that.
But
Yeah.
The letdown.
for me, whenever I think of the, like, because I obviously we've all been kids, we've all had that birthday idea, but I don't know why I always nowadays I keep thinking of that scene in Ant-Man where he brings that hideous toy for his daughter, and honestly, this is actually kind of true. Sometimes the kids just love weird things, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like it is, there is that kind of factor as well. But that thing was just hideous. I mean, I was like,
I love that scene.
what the heck is that, right? It's so ugly. I love it. It's
Yeah.
so great. Now the next slide that I'm going to show. Fair warning, everybody: if you are a Boba Fett fan, brace yourselves, okay? Because this was from Yak Face, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, everybody brace yourselves. Yeah, Yak Face.
Is that your hot toys?
Yakface.com. Yak Face on Twitter. Yeah, he opened up. He opened up his Boba Fett, and lo and behold, it was broken. I don't
You're
know.
breaking Michael's heart right now.
That's breaking my heart right now. Like, honestly, like
Wow.
that is just what happened. How could
Oh my god.
how could this thing? Okay, so here's what's funny about this thing. I'd understand if it was in a, here's another pro to plastic packaging. These things are basically melted into this plastic prison that they've got. You know what I mean? It's like a carbonite prison that they're stuck in. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Whereas these things, because and this one obviously is not like what we just saw with Peter Parker or whatever. And I wonder if this is actually the reason why they're doing this now. This one was loosey goosey, and obviously whatever truck it was on, it manhandled this figure, and it just the leg just popped off. Just absolutely horrendous. And this is terrible. Oh my god, this is the worst of the bunch. This is the worst of the bunch. You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
No, this has got to be. This is just wrong. He got the worst of the worst.
But if you flip back to the slide where you could see the cardboard, like, broken figure aside, it's a travesty. But do we need that much cardboard for that
For the
small
one
of a
figure.
figure?
Did it have anything else next to it?
No,
Or
these are all the accessories. Like his helmet is in here.
Oh,
His
that's it.
yeah, the three stormtrooper helmets are in here.
Oh
Like
yeah,
a lot of people have criticized this particular this particular figure for being what's it called, unnecessary.
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
honestly, it's a deluxe figure for a deluxe price, and it doesn't really have that much
Yeah.
compared to the one that's on that's on the card. Like
Yeah.
you're right, this is just a waste of packaging, and you're killing a lot of trees this way.
Right.
It's ridiculous, right?
yeah.
And
I think
had they been smarter and put like 2 straps of cardboard, like maybe one near his upper chest and then another strap by his feet, at least he would have been cinched in there a
more
little bit
cardboard, though.
better. Yeah, and it cost them pennies to put some extra cardboard in there, and now they're just gonna have a whole bunch of broken figures trying to save that one little extra piece of cardboard. So,
But it's one. Sorry, Michael, did you were going to say?
Oh,
something?
so it's funny. So I do remember. Just made me recall opening another figure. So the Kamakura from Amazon.
Yeah.
It was on discount, so I got it, and I'd wish that it came in plastic packaging, because when I opened it, I did not like the head sculpts whatsoever. I didn't like the figure whatsoever. I was not impressed with it. And I'm sorry for Kamakura fans out there. I returned it. And I totally wish I would have seen it.
No, exactly. And I'm having the same. Like I have the Kamakura. I came in, but again, we're stuck in a rock and a hard place in a lot of ways. So here's the actual Morak figure that's not deluxe, and you don't really get a lot different. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah.
Like the only thing you're missing is three additional heads and some blast effects.
Mhm.
Everything else is basically here. And you were talking about double the price for
Yeah.
this figure, right?
And
Imagine
when
paying
you
double
look
the
at
price.
that, go ahead.
Sorry?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just I was pretty much done. Like,
Oh,
were you
I'm
gonna say?
sorry. I was just going to make a point. And when you look at those 2 images, the Boba Fett that's on that big slab of cardboard, and then that package, what's going to like tug at your heartstrings, and that nostalgia, and that maybe an impulse buy, or I got to have this figure, or I got to have 2 of these figures because I want to display one on my wall. I mean, any marketing genius would tell you that is the way to go. And yes, we have to reduce some plastic, but there's no comparison between the two. It's just a no-brainer, I think.
It's just crazy. It really is. And like I said, we're talking about double the price here. And for what? For this?
Right.
I mean, this is when you look at the differences, you get a box, right? A huge box, right? And it contains a blast effect for the rocket, right?
Yep.
It contains three what's it called? Stormtrooper helmets,
Uh-huh.
and that's it. That's the only difference. And you're charging twice as much for this versus this,
Yeah.
right? And you're right, Toy Sorceress. This is my nostalgia factor. This is what the heck.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It's funny
I want
because
a brown.
those should have been reversed, because I would
Yeah.
love to have seen the stormtrooper helmets on that plastic bubble instead
Oh
of
yeah.
hidden in a box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The reality is though, if this thing had a cellophane, if this thing had a cellophane window, I think I'd be super happy
Yeah.
because I'd see everything properly arranged.
Mhm.
They might have put a background on the back. It would have been just a regular toy, right? And again,
Mhm.
it's these things that. But I'm still just mortified at this. I am just
That's
absolutely
That's
mortified.
horrible.
unreal.
Yeah, but he must have
Horrible.
gotten the worst of the worst. The damn shoulders came off.
That's
How is that
crazy.
even There's
I've
no
never
glue.
seen anything like that.
There's no
Mm-mm.
glue. And that's what happened with his
I
leg.
think he
His
was
legs
made in
already-
the same factory as my Mondo He-Man.
Oh, man.
It came apart at the torso.
I am so sorry.
Maybe
I'm so
they use
sorry
the
to hear
same
that.
adhesive.
Good news about did you get an email? You did?
I
Okay.
did. I did.
Okay. So you know what? You guys have reported on that already, obviously, because that email is a godsend for anybody who's losing faith in Mondo. We're not gonna talk about that here, guys. Head over to Toy Habits. Check out that article on the Mondo He-Man update. Lots of great news coming your way if you picked up that Mondo He-Man, because honestly, that was a big scare for a lot of people. So definitely, guys, head over to Toy Habits. Make sure you're checking up on that particular article, because that thing was incredible. So, like I said, this is going to be a problem, but this is just that's sad. This is just so sad. I can't believe, of all people, Yak Face, the guy who's literally telling everybody everything about Star Wars figures, was the one to receive this. Holy
Oh my
crap!
gosh.
Talk about a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, that is just
Yeah.
ridiculous. And here's the real problem. Here's another problem. This is not Yak Face. This is somebody else who got the exact same problem with a different figure.
No.
Yes.
That's crazy.
This is Tidy Wire, right? And he says, "Yeah, plastic-free packaging has gone amazing so far. Thanks, Hasbro. I love having to glue parts of my figure back together out of the box." Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You can actually tell this is a different figure, because this is the shot that Tidy Wire sent, and this was the shot that yeah, they're two completely different figures. Like, holy crap. That's pure insanity. Like, that's just ridiculous. And then, just to there you go, Michael. There you go. Right? This is you know what? Huge shout out. Huge shout out to sorry, Michael, remind me who
Chaz the Guru.
All right, Chaz the Guru. Sorry,
He's amazing.
Chaz. He might even be, he's killing me right now. But huge shout out to Chaz for giving. It reads, "State of emergency. Figure swapping is real. Bought this from Target in North Carolina and had this, but they are professional with it. It's still tied up in the back." Like,
wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's a NECA figure, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a nice Ryu. They swapped it out with a good figure.
That's a repaint. Like, they painted it too, didn't they?
I thought it was just in white. I haven't seen that version of it.
Yeah, this is somebody repainted this. Again, I think they do it for a laugh. I'm not gonna lie, but they're just doing it for jokes, right? But and that is the cycle, though, right? That is the actual. As far as I know, that's the cycle, right?
Yeah.
But
that's right, cycle.
Look at they bothered to actually do. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I need industrial crank scissors.
Oh, I just cannot.
Yeah,
cannot believe the attention to detail. Like, snip, snip, snip. No, they untied it, and I know for a fact you can't do that properly. They glue these things together. That's crazy. Like, oh my goodness. I don't know. It looks to me as this is going to get worse rather than better. To be perfectly honest with you, and you think it's not an isolated problem, but even content creators like Pixel Dan, he's not immune to this either. I think this is what you were talking about, Toy Sorceress. He opened up Hank,
yeah,
and both of his Hanks, he got one Hank that he opened up, went back to Target, got a second Hank, and they both broke on the same hand. That is not, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Like, that's crazy.
By the way, Pixel Dan, if you're still looking for Hank, I can get him for you. He's Hankless. That's what he says.
No, he is, because very soon after he calls up Hasbro proper, and they sell it. They send him two completely different figures. What is going on here? And you have a problem when Pixel Dan is saying, "I hate to keep harping on this, but remember my two broken D&D Hank figures? I reported them to Hasbro Pulse proper, and they said they'd replace them. Today I got my replacements. Billy and Diana, two figures I don't need. I'm still Hankless." Like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. At the very least, and I think I'm right in saying this. No, I'm not. These are digital renders. What the heck?
Yeah, they are.
Those are digital renders. Oh my god, they're not doing themselves any favors here.
No, and the Star Wars, the Vintage Collection digital renders, they're not great, and so I don't know. You have photos of the actual figure. Put them on the box. Come on.
This
Why don't
this
they
is
use at least just the photograph?
yeah,
What's wrong with
yeah.
that?
Guys, this is truly, if I may, this is truly a comedy of errors. Like this is just wrong. This is just absolutely
Mhm.
like just embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yeah,
And then we
Um,
have Tidarium Hanger on
that's
camera.
the guy. Yep.
On camera, Tidarium Hanger. I'm just
wow.
gonna play this clip really, really quick. Just if you guys haven't seen
Mhm.
this, you will not believe this. You will not believe this.
This is the
Huge
one I'm
shout out,
referring to.
huge shout out to Mike over at Tidarium Hanger. Check this out, guys. This was Mike over at Tidarium Hanger opening all of his toys for that he just picked up from a shipment. And again, you can't make this stuff up. Like
No.
this is a PR nightmare in so many different regards. I mean, when I first saw the packaging for when I first saw the packaging for these figures, I was sort of like, okay, I want these figures. I've needed D&D figures forever because like they just did not make any like they released actual D&D figures for LJN, right? They did not release Bobby, they did not release Diana, they did not release Hank, Sheila. They didn't release any of them. So these are freaking 40-year-old figures that people have been yearning for, and then they put them out in backing cars, and I was like, whatever, just give me the figure. You know what I mean? I just want the figure. Like screw it. But they could like, you had one job, Hasbro. You had one job. And you couldn't even get like, I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean about this stuff, but you had one freaking job, and my goodness. It's literally this is
Yep.
this is Mike opening it up.
Mhm.
It's a Hank box, and he literally loses his mind.
That's it.
That's nuts.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah. And wasn't that the one he was like most excited about opening?
He was like, again, Mike's a great guy, like, friend of the
Sad.
channel.
Yeah.
Friend of the channel, great guy, right? Honestly, salt, hard on his shoulder, great guy. But I keep hitting this thing. But that shouldn't happen to anybody. Like that is just and it could have easily. And this is the problem. Again, we're not trying to beat up on Hasbro here. But the main problem is,
No.
there's got to be there's something. We have to find another way to do this,
Yep.
right? Like because
Yeah.
the like the plastic free packaging just doesn't work. And again, I question the idea. If you were going to do this, why a backing card box? Just make it a box. Like, seriously, just make it a damn box. Like it was just such a crazy thing. Oh my goodness.
And it's even
Ah,
got that little like angle in it to like look like a blister bubble,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
not.
but that's exactly what it is, right? The whole thing is supposed to be on a card, right? It's got this angle. Yeah, you're totally right, 100%. And it's just things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
so many content creators have chimed in on this. Jay over Geek Dad Life, he did a whole
Yep.
episode on this, right? No bubble, no problem. But even these are digital renders. Again, she
Oh,
looks
geez.
nothing like this.
Right.
When
No.
Jay opened this thing up, it looked absolutely nothing like this at all. That was the worst part about that. No paint apps, nothing. The way it's presented here is not what you're getting, and I think that's
Nope.
the biggest problem that I see. Like that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is why I think that like content creators on YouTube who do unboxing videos, like their channels are going to explode because that's the first time that you're going to get to see it, and you don't want to go to the store, take it home, and have that experience, and then have to go back to the store and return it because you don't like it. Might as well just watch somebody else's video unboxing it.
That's
we
true.
we yeah, we are living in a time where knowledge is power, and you can save yourself a lot of heartache by just taking a look at a review. right? I mean, it happens all the time. Tech reviewers have really exploded over the past couple of years, and now we're seeing that with toys. I mean, it's going to happen. It's crazy. You're absolutely right, Michael. And you know what? Again, figure swapping is not. It's been around forever. You know what I mean? And I really do believe that people just get a kick out of it. But when you get to the point where you can't see what you're getting, and then you get a pair of WWE,
wow,
what the heck?
I'd take
that.
Here's my problem. Okay, so here's something for both of you guys. For both of you, at some point, you're going to get lucky. At some point, you're going to open up a figure. It's not going to be the right figure, but then you're going to realize, wait a sec, this thing's rare. Like you're gonna get that figure, and you're like, this thing's actually rare. This thing's actually worth a couple of bucks, right? But then you look at it, and your brain starts thinking, it's like, yeah, it's rare, but where the hell has this thing been? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, where has this thing been? Sometimes I look at these swap figures and I'm like, was that in the dog dish?
Right.
It looks like it's been in a dog dish.
Did it fall in the toilet?
I think it's been in a dog dish. I'm almost 100% sure it's been in a dog dish. Has some kid shoved that up his nose? Like, honestly, like sometimes I look at these swap figures and I think to myself, dear God, that thing's a bacteria farm. It's a culture. It's a bacteria culture. You know what I mean? And you look at this thing because what happened was one time, funny story. One time, a bunch of us were looking at a couple of swap figure photos online, and one of us noticed. We're like, "Holy crap, that thing's actually worth like $100." Wow. Right? We were like, "That guy got lucky." Right? And then one of us chimed in, and like, I think it was me. I chimed in and I'm like, "Yeah, are you really lucky? Because that thing could have been in somebody's. I don't know, like it could have been a hamster thing. You know, like it could have been
a crevasse.
It could have been." There's an urban legend story going around that somebody had to go to the emergency room, and I think the punchline was that Buzz Lightyear went to infinity and beyond. I think that was the actual punchline. Okay, so I think that was actually it. And
wow,
I do honestly sometimes wonder when I see some of these things. I'm like, where has that thing been? Like truthfully, I am often again, some things go through my mind that should not be on YouTube. Let's say it that way. But yeah, this is I do not see the swapping as actually a big problem. I think that the reason we're seeing this is because of the availability of the internet and the fact that content creators like me, you, all the guys out there are making people aware of this stuff. I think that that's actually what's happening. But like I said, when it happens live on camera, what the heck are you supposed to do? Like that's just wrong. That is just so wrong on so many different levels. However, did you guys hear about this? I don't know if you guys have reported on this yet, but over at Toy News International, which is another great resource for toy news all year round, guys, definitely give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. I did not know about this back in November 28th. And I don't know if you guys have reported about this, but apparently Hasbro is looking to lock down their figures with new packaging technology. Guys, have you heard about this?
No.
All right.
That one slipped by us.
This was a first for me. And I think what this was actually in response to the idea that they're swapping figures, right? I believe that they were. I didn't read this 100%, but I do believe that it does mention at several other points that they were going to use these tamper-proof labels, where if you try to pull them off, they leave a residue behind or something like that, and that they were going to look into that. But this one highlights, and I'll go to the next. Where is it? I thought I had it here. Nope, not that one. Nope. Anyway, whatever. It actually goes and highlights how they were going to secure tab all the figures from now on at some level, so that, and you can see the schematics here. They're kind of crazy, and it's a very specific way of doing it, so that if you ever were in doubt, they were going to be completely secured and very, very, very difficult to remove from the actual packaging itself. Yeah, it's an entire. I think this is actually a patent.
Secured with what? Plastic?
Yeah, it's weird. Ah,
It's sort of like it looks like a
So
newfangled type of zip type technology or something.
okay, so let's do the math or volume. Like, how much plastic is in a very thick reinforced piece of plastic that you have to reinforce something with versus a clear layer of film that you place
oh
over a
my
box?
god, Michael,
Yeah.
that was so savage. The way you said it, it was just so ridiculously savage. I was like, what are they going to reinforce with? Plastic? I was like, holy crap. Michael just went there. He literally put the dagger in the back of Hasbro. Oh my
No
god.
shame.
But and you got to remember this, guys. It actually does say, and this is true. It says here, read it right there. It says it right. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't. You guys can't read anything. Yeah, right there. Read it. It says plastic-free packaging, and then here, except
Mhm.
for tape and glue. Right. So what I'm thinking there might have to expand that to include fasteners. They'll
Mhm.
probably include fasteners are exempt or something like that. Like because you're
Yeah.
right, Michael. You're right. This patent, because this is a patent. That's I think
Mhm.
that's what Jay. Where did
Yeah.
I? A lot of J's flying around here. I think okay, we got to be specific here. Jay from Toy and Used International was the one who wrote this article, and this is definitely a patent because you can see right here,
Yeah.
US 201. There's the patent pending number or whatever it is, and yeah, this looks like some sort of plastic fastener.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
because I've seen key locks and those are made of plastic.
yeah,
You can't
Yeah.
make a cardboard key lock.
no, because it's easily ripped open, right? And
Yep.
and look, there's an example of their actual packaging itself and how it's gonna work. So yeah, the
Interesting.
ongoing struggle of finding the right way of doing this. And Hasbro was on the case, everybody. Hasbro was on the case. They're trying to protect us from the inevitability of plastic, which. And now I gotta come down to it, guys. I'm gonna ask the question that is just the real question. How do you guys feel about a toy company? How do you feel about a toy company that makes toys from plastic, trying to reduce their plastic footprint? what, what, what is your what are your takes
Oh
on
my
a toy
god.
company making toys out of plastic, trying to reduce their plastic footprint? I'm gonna go ahead and because well, go.
Go ahead, because
I guess
I'm
I'll
so
start.
fast.
Well, the plastic that you're getting in the packaging is ultimately going to end up in a landfill very quickly because you're going to open the toy up and you're going to throw away the packaging. Whereas the product itself, the toy, hopefully lasts on your shelf for many years. And then I guess at some point in time, it'll end up in a landfill. It's sadly enough, but I mean, we all have to go at some point. So I guess maybe the idea is that one is going to be wasted rather quickly, but it's still a you know inevitable point that they're still using plastic and it'll end up in a landfill at some point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking at the chat, and Ramen Toy hit the nail on the head. It's the ultimate irony, and that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking when I was laughing when you brought this up. And you know, they're trying to reduce plastic, but maybe given the Boba Fett example, are they actually trying to reduce plastic in the figures too? And that's why they're falling apart. So it's like, what do you do? Yeah, it's definitely ironic, and it's actually it's funny to me, and you kind of caught me off guard with that question, but yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, I
I
mean, I'm
just
glad that the toy companies are trying to do their part in helping the environment, but again, it comes down to a happy median and how could we reduce the amount of plastic because they're still using plastic and still keep their products safe and still make collectors happy and and keep their sales up. So again, we come back to maybe it's just reduced plastic and not plastic free. And while I'm here, I just want to give a shout out to the Baroness of Toys that I saw logged in. So
oh,
hi, Baroness of Toys.
awesome stuff. You know what? Ramen, of course, is in the house, and they're saying somewhere along the lines, Hasbro executives forgot about recycling campaigns. Yeah, we've gone from slight tolerance to absolute no tolerance, right? And it's kind of it really is, again, a huge irony that a company that is subsistent on plastic, that relies on plastic, is trying to put a forward face saying that we will do something, right?
Mhm.
And you know what, I'm not trying to judge anybody, I'm not, right? But good on them for trying, right?
Yeah.
I'll say it that way, good on them for trying. But
Mhm.
it might be a rethink on some level, right? There might be a different way of doing this. We again,
Yeah.
no one has a solution yet.
Yeah.
We don't know what the future brings, but for now, look who it is. You know, we're
It,
all
it
learning.
it's an evolution, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. We're all learning, right?
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm looking at my DMs and Instagram, and the Toys of Time Gone By sent me this Batman figure, and it's in plastic-free packaging in the 70s. So
Yeah.
they've done it before. It's just maybe it's
Mhm.
coming full circle.
Yeah, there's
You
got to
know
be
what I realized? Oh, go ahead, Jay.
no. I was like,
Oh, well, Michael brought up a great point. If you look at the old vintage GI Joe figures, and it's more with the larger packages for the vehicles and little play sets and stuff like that, they were in a fully sealed box with amazing artwork. But then when they came with figures, they had a little small window display with the figure inserted in there, so you could see it, and then the rest of it was gorgeous artwork. And I think that again was a good happy median, because at least you can see the cool figure you're going to get with your vehicle, and the vehicle was mainly, I guess, pretty simplistic with plastic and stuff. There you go, perfect example. The Ostriker, I had one up on my shelf before too. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And very minimal plastic. You get to see the figure inside, and he looks great, and you got case in there, so that's perfect. And you're going to get an Ostriker, so there you go. That works.
Again, we're in a lot of ways we are spinning our wheels. I mean, like,
Yeah.
When a company goes all in on something, I appreciate it. I do. But there needs to be more consultation. There needs to be a lot like, you got to get some people in a think tank and really come up with a real solution. The other thing is, if you are going to continue this practice, Hasbro, okay, and this I think is something I can say. I think I'm safe in saying this. If you are going to go ahead and do this type of practice, then the other half of your business has to step up. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you are going to insist on eliminating plastic from your packaging to whatever means, then you're going to have to go back to the manufacturing and ensure that whatever you put in that package is the right thing. Whatever paint apps need to be applied to that plastic to that product are 100%. And you got to make sure that, and this is the other thing, which I think you're already doing. Whenever a defect happens, which happens, this is just something that's not. It's since time memorial. There have been paint problems. There have been things like that, but you make sure that you do what you have to do. And if you want to find out a company that's actually doing that right now, definitely head over to Toy Connection, to Toy Habits, and take a look at that article about Mondo He-Man, because honestly, you guys are going to be happy about that if you purchase the Mondo He-Man. I want to thank my special guests from Toy Habits, guys. Thank you so much, Michael and the Toy Sorceress. You guys have been amazing. Glad I could get you back on the stream again. It's been these wonderful things. It's been rough. It's been a rough a couple of years, and I'm glad we're all able to get back into it. Thank you, everybody, here for being here tonight. Again, Sunday evening, 9:09 my time. What time is it over there for you guys, by the way?
A little bit after 6.
Okay, so it's not too bad for
No.
you guys. $5 super chat for Mr. Cheeseburger. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Collecting toys makes us complicit in the toy company using plastic. If we were really concerned about companies using plastic, we wouldn't buy toys. You say that, but at the same time, I know what you're trying to say, Mr. Cheeseburger. I know what you're trying to say. But at the end of the day, we're all accountable for what happens to the world, and we all have to figure out things which, in our own lives, which can make things better. I think that once we start taking a look at ourselves, I think we'll start realizing that the world needs to catch up in many different ways. That's not me preaching. That's just me, putting something, a bow on it and stuff. Hal Jordan, they jacked the prices up and dropped the quality way down. Yeah, that's another topic for another day. we're going to talk about that one a little there. Nolan, what's going on, my friend? Use real photos and have great artwork. Small window Hasbro can pay me whenever. Honestly, that is a great suggestion. You should definitely be a consultant there, Nolan. You know what you're talking about, my friend. Retro UK, it's one of those things that only works on paper and not in execution. Unfortunately, this is definitely one of those things. It needs to be rethought and re-massaged. We're learning. We're all learning. Ironic, isn't it? Yes, it is very, very ironic. Guys, thank you so much again for being here tonight. I want to thank my good friends over at Toy Habits. Guys, where can people find you, and how can they reach you? Please let.
Sure. You can find us at www.toyhabits.com. We are also on Instagram at Toy Habits website. So my DMs are always open. I love chatting with everyone. So please shoot me a message, shoot me whatever. Like, I love talking about this stuff all the time. So please do.
Yep. The other cool thing I'm just going to say about our website is we have a little shop section, which we actually created for the collectors to make it easy for you guys to find all the figures you're looking for, because there's quick links to all the different figures you want. Target, Walmart, EE, BBTS, and sometimes those links are hidden and we find them for you. So if you're looking for stuff and you can't keep track of, all these little posts that, a link came out or whatever it is, just go to our shop pages and you can easily find everything you need on your collection there, even stuff that hasn't been out for a while. So we're trying to make it fun and easy for all the collectors, and we're constantly growing the website and keeping you guys up to date on all the latest news. So check us out, toyhabits.com.
Well said.
Absolutely, 100%. And of course, guys, the Toy Habits website, number one, is a great news resource for toys all year round. Definitely give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. But also, the Toy Habits YouTube page is still up, and it's a wonderful episodes there about toy news that they've been bringing out. Guys, I hope to see you guys again very, very soon. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Absolutely,
Thanks,
I'm so
Jay.
glad you guys could make it. It's great. Guys, I think we're going to wrap it up there. It's been a wonderful discussion. Thank you again for spending some time with us. Just before we log off, I did want to once again thank all of my patrons for all the support that they have. These guys, of course, are the reason I'm able to make wonderful episodes every single week. If you guys are interested in becoming a Patreon member, please check out my Patreon page. It is Mega J Retro on Patreon. Guys, I really appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Of course, to the channel members as well. You guys can also become a channel member here on the channel to help support the channel. Guys, I really do appreciate that. Definitely check out Toy Habits, guys. Check out their shopping section, because apparently you guys can find out everything you need to know there. So definitely give them a like and a follow. Tell them Jay sent you. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been an absolute blast. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Be proud.
Bye. Have a good night.